In today's video, we're going to be looking at where to buy Pokemon cards online. That's right, today I'm going to be looking at where to buy Pokemon cards online. I'm going to take you through all the stores I'm aware of and give you all the experience I have of where to buy Pokemon cards online, what stores to go to, where to look, the best places and the worst places, maybe some places you should avoid, some little tricks to look out for. Yeah, just any tips I can give you guys to help you when you're looking for Pokemon cards online. Now, as you know, I'm in the UK, so this is going to be a where to buy Pokemon cards online in the UK. These are all going to be UK stores or anywhere that ships to the UK. It's not going to be US or anywhere else based. It is UK based. If you don't know me, my name's Ryan, and this is Pulls and Positivity, where we cover everything Pokemon TCG related. We do pack openings, I try and give you advice, keep everyone updated about things going on in the community, try and keep a really good fun vibe, and just keep the positivity flowing. There's too much negativity around in our community right now, and I just want to create a nice space for like-minded people to just enjoy the hobby together, basically. Again, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who watched that first video on where to buy Pokemon cards on the high street in the UK. That video did so well and so many of you subscribed, and yeah, I just want to try and pay it back and say thank you to everyone that was that subscribed and supported me since then, because you guys have been honestly absolutely amazing. We're on our way to, probably about to hit 400 subscribers, but we're on our way to 500. 500 is my goal right now. So if I can get there, that would absolutely be amazing. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for watching and for all your support. It's just been like overwhelming, so I really appreciate that. Right, let's get into it. So, where to buy Pokemon cards? I'm going to start off with a really interesting one today, actually. So, I'm going to start off on Amazon. Now, when you say Amazon, a lot of people will have mixed feelings. Me included, I was definitely one of those when I started buying Pokemon cards again or looking for Pokemon cards. Amazon was one of those ones that I was really unsure of. I didn't know what was legit on Amazon and what wasn't. There's a lot of overpriced stuff and there's a lot of stuff that appears fake. And I think that's one of my main worries when I'm buying online. I'm worried that I'm going to get scammed, basically, or there's going to be fake stuff. But as long as you stick to the main websites, you should be okay. Amazon is a tricky one because so many people sell on Amazon, so you can get caught up. There's obviously so many scalpers trying to sell their product on Amazon, and there's plenty of overpriced stuff. You can pretty much buy anything on there if you're willing to pay the money for it, but it's mixed in with a lot of stuff that you don't want and a lot of scammy stuff as well. There is one place on Amazon you should go for Pokemon cards, 100%, and I have used this, and I actually got one of my 151 bundles from there. Amazon actually have an official Pokemon store themselves, so if you go onto Amazon and you type in Pokemon and you look through the results, you will find the Pokemon official Amazon Pokemon store. It will say sold by Amazon, shipped by Amazon. You can click on and go to their store specifically, and they will have an absolute ton of Pokemon products, and they're all at retail price. They're not overly priced or anything like that. They're all at retail price. Now, what Amazon does, because basically any Pokemon cards are so sought after, it's so hard to get, but basically all of the things on there, you can basically enter an email, and what I mean by that is they basically make you apply for a product and then they will randomly select you. So it's a bit of a gamble whether you're going to get something, especially for the more sought after stuff. But that is actually how I got my 151 bundle. I saw the 151 bundles on there. They had Blooming Waters like 151. They've got all of the new Destined Rivals stuff on there and everything, but you have to apply and then you have to get an email from Amazon that says you have been selected to buy this product. I think you have 7 days, and if you buy within those 7 days, then it's yours and you get it. And actually they're actually really decent, reasonable prices, but you just have to get a little bit lucky. So definitely check that out. Honestly, all the other stuff on Amazon I would kind of avoid because I'm a little bit unsure of. Right, moving on to the next store. Next we looked at Argos. Now when I looked at retail like high street stores, we looked at Argos, and Argos wasn't very good, so I thought I'd give it a second chance to look online, and it's not that much better. You can't really get anything on there, and also I don't like the way you can't sort between products that are in stock and out of stock. It's kind of frustrating, and I find that with a lot of the online stuff. For some reason, there's just not a way to sort between what's in stock and what isn't, so you're just kind of sifting through, and Argos has a few like products that are available, and I guess no one wants, but for the most part, not the best. It's worth keeping an eye out, and you might get something if something comes in stock, but you've really got to be searching and searching and searching. And bearing in mind, when you're online, you're fighting against bots all the time. Argos is quite a difficult one, to be honest. But they do have products, and it's worth keep an eye on, I guess. Next, we looked at ASDA. Now, the reason I looked at ASDA is because ASDA did so well when we looked at the retail stores. When we actually went into stores and looked, ASDA was actually kind of a standout surprise for me. So I thought I'd only include one supermarket in this because I don't want to go through loads of different supermarkets because basically they all have the same stuff. They all have deck boxes and that's about it. But actually, Asda surprised me online as well. Similar to in stores, they had a few different tins, a bit more unusual stuff, not just the deck boxes, things you wouldn't really expect from a place like that. Yeah, they had some different tins and Pokeballs, so they do have a few products on there, so it is worth checking out if you're interested in that. It's a bit of a gamble. Again, you have to work out what cards are in what products. But they had Shining Fates mini tins, I think, which is not a bad product at retail price. So again, all this stuff, this is the thing. Some places we're going to go to online are selling at variable prices and can be more. Legitimate, like big superstores like this do sell stuff at retail. So if you are on a budget, these are the better ones to look at. So Asda is definitely one, again, to just keep an eye on. Next we looked at Game. Now, when I went on to Game had a few products again, not many. Type in Pokemon TCG, a few things come up. Mostly stuff that isn't actually Pokemon cards, it's just like plushies and other collectible like figures and stuff. But they had a few things. They had certain cards and a couple of like collection boxes. I think they had the Ono's Belly Bolt EX box. So they did have a couple of things, so that was quite nice, but very limited stuff for that one. Right, next, anyway, ignore him, Ash. He's such a good boy. Next, we looked at Sports Direct. Now, Sports Direct are obviously owned by the same people that own games. So if you go onto Sports Direct, actually pretty much exactly the same products are available. So when you go onto Pokemon TCG section on Sports Direct, it basically shows you game and it shows you all the same stuff. So there's nothing to report there. What's on game is on Sports Direct. It's very limited, but there is a few things. Now, the next one that I went to, or the next place we visited online, was HMV. Now, HMV is a place that I have never actually found Pokemon cards in store. When the new set came out, when Destined Rivals came out, I did look for Pokemon. I looked for Destined Rivals in HMV, and I went there. We actually, there was a couple of people with me where I was queuing. I was actually at WHSmiths, and HMV was opposite. HMV actually opened a few minutes before WHSmiths did, so we went in there first. They didn't have any product. That's on release day when they first opened the store. So I'm not really sure about HMV, but if you go online, they actually have a lot of Pokemon products on their online store. A lot. And the good thing about them is that actually, not only can you sort of sift through what's in stock, out of stock, it shows you very clearly what's sold out and what isn't. But also, you can click to be notified when things come back in stock, which is really good. So if you might find something that you want on there that isn't in stock right now, but it gives you the option, notify me when in stock. So you have the option, you know, to get that email. And if you're willing to wait around and you might get lucky and you just happen to pick up that email, then again, straight on there and you could possibly get something. I believe they also do pre-orders if you catch them, but I didn't see any when I was on there. I guess because we're kind of between sets and obviously Black Bolt and Flare White are not out for pre-order yet, so they weren't there. But yeah, definitely one to look out for because the website is more organized and it's better, it's easier to see. But then we went on to Hamleys. Now, I don't know if you can see my cat down here, but he's being so soft. Next we went to Hamleys. Now, Hamleys is one I missed from high street stores, obviously because the only Hamleys store I'm aware of is actually in central London. But we visited their online store anyway, and they actually did have some product. They had Journey Together available. They didn't have any Destined Rivals, and I couldn't see that they ever had Destined Rivals stock. But they did have Journey Together, and it was at a reasonable price, and they did have a few other products. So keep an eye on there, and then you might be able to get something in Hamleys. The next one after that I mentioned in my store tour was John Lewis. Now, I used to check John Lewis, and they used to show that they did Pokemon cards. However, when I looked today, there was no Pokemon cards or no inventory, nothing online that even showed that they might even stock Pokemon cards anymore. So I don't know if they've stopped, but there wasn't anything there. So give that one a miss. Next is Smyths. Smyths Toy Store. Smyths is actually really good. And I know I kind of raved about Smyths. I had a bit of an up and down with Smyths in the last video. But Smyths are very, very good. And the reason I like Smyths is because they might not sell their Pokemon TCG products online, but they do keep you up to date. And that is so important. And they even have the release dates of all the new stuff that comes out. So Cynthia's Garchomp EX boxes and the Mewtwo EX boxes and even the Black Bolt Flare White are on there, and they have all the dates. They will show you all the dates for everything that's coming out. So that is a really worthwhile one to keep an eye on, because they will keep you up to date on anything. Also, Smyths do get other products in now and again. So I can tell you right now, guys, and this is really important, if you're interested in Prismatic Evolutions, on Smyths right now, it says that Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles are expected in store on the 17th. That will be, I think, the day after this video goes up. So if you're interested and you catch this in time and you're interested in Prismatic Evolutions, head to Smyths tomorrow, the 17th, and queue up if you have to or whatever. But there is the possibility that there's going to be some booster bundles in there. Again, keep checking online. It will tell you when it's in stock. That's the best thing. They always tell you if they've got stuff in stock and how many, and you can head to store and sort it out. Also, keep an eye online for them for pre-orders, because they will say online when their pre-orders are available, and you have to head into store to do the pre-order. Again, it's a way to fight bots, because bots are just destroying the hobby along with the scalpers. So yeah, definitely Smyths is a good one, just if you want dates for stuff, and they're very, very good at keeping you updated. So Smyths, shout out Smyths. The next one we looked at was WHSmiths. Now, WHSmiths were incredibly good in the high street, but they are not good online at all. Just give it a miss. They don't even show anything to do with Pokemon TCG on their website, so that's not worth it. Next on to the Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center, if you're new to Pokemon and you don't know, Pokemon Center is like the official Pokemon store. Pokemon Center do official, like they have special official stuff. So their ETBs, if you buy them on a Pokemon Center, are actually different to the normal ETBs or elite trainer boxes that you'll be able to get in other stores like Smyths or WHSmiths or Game or wherever you might be able to get them from. The Pokemon Center ones are actually different. So if you buy an ETB on the Pokemon Center online store, the ETBs are actually stamped. They say Pokemon Center official ETBs. And instead of getting 9 packs, you actually get 10 packs. And the promo card that you get in those ETBs is actually stamped with the Pokemon Center logo, whereas normal ETBs, they're not. So they're a little bit more sought after. Unfortunately, the Pokemon Center has not got a handle on how to control bots and scalpers. If you manage to catch a drop on the Pokemon Center, I don't even know how you do it. Even if you know when the date is and the time, they sell out in seconds, minutes. There's people queuing, and by the time you get on the store, it's gone. And I saw a report or an article that said that the last drop that was done for Destined Rivals, I think 80% of the purchases for Destined Rivals on their store got refunded or got cancelled because it was bots. 80%. Basically everything on there you're fighting against bots. Bots are all over Pokemon Center, and they just do not have a handle on it at all. It's a real shame, and it's one of the reasons that's really killing the online game and is really not fair for anyone. Yeah, it's a shame, because I'd love to be able to go on there and get something. They do have products on there, but again, it's a less desirable stuff. If you go on there, there is stuff available. There is booster boxes, packs and things that are available, but any of that super desirable stuff, bots just eat it up, man. It's not how we want things to be in the hobby, but it's how it is at the moment, unfortunately. Right, anyway, so after the Pokemon Center, the next one we went to was PokeRand. Now, these next two, so I've kind of drifted from more of the stores that we covered on the retail stores, and these are more like specialized stores, more like your local card stores, but they're online version of the local card stores. So the first one that we went to was PokeRand. PokeRand, if you don't know, is Randolph. He's been around on YouTube and in the Pokemon community for a very long time. I was lucky enough to get an autograph from him, and I bought my first graded card, ace graded card. If you don't know, Randy's also involved in ace grading, and I met him at London Card Show, and I was very happy to meet him. He was, he's very nice. I love his channel. I watch it all the time. They actually seem like online. I was looking. They sell singles. This is a good thing. So when you get into these stores, they start to sell singles. So if you're collecting singles, or you're looking for like individual cards, these next few stores coming up are the ones you want to be looking at. But PokeRand is one of them. They do sell sealed products, although very, very limited. It looks like he's actually just done more of a dive into selling sealed Japanese sets. So if you're interested in something a little bit different, Japanese sets, definitely check PokeRand out. The next one we're going to look at is Collector's Cardhouse. Again, these are two people that are really do like. This is Chloe and Pokedean. Again, I met them at London Card Show, got autographs from them and stuff. I really like their online content. I do watch them a lot. I don't want to say anything bad about them, but I do think they're a little bit pricey. Their store is very pricey. They tend to sell stuff at market price, even if it's new stuff that should really, in my eyes, probably be being sold at retail. If you're getting it from distribution, it's listed at market price. But they are very good. They're more in store. If you want like stuff to buy on the Whatnot streams, they do Whatnot YouTube streams and stuff like that. You can buy packs on there to be opened online, so that's kind of cool, and just to be part of that community. The next one's Magic Madhouse. Now, Magic Madhouse is really good, really good. You can get a lot of stuff. You can sign up for notifications on when new sets are dropping. You can do pre-orders. You can get a lot of different booster packs. Again, they're not going to be at retail price. They're going to be a little bit more depending on what products they get in and what price they get them for. But it is pretty reasonable still. You will have 151. You will have Prismatic Evolutions. You will have a lot of different sets. Way more inventory and more unusual and different things you can get on there. They are really good. Yeah, like I said, you can get pre-orders and stuff like that on there. Definitely check them out. They are worth looking at. They are one of my go-tos that I look at when I'm trying to buy cards. The next big go-to that I have when I'm looking for cards online is going to be Chaos Cards. Chaos Cards are probably my favorite online store. I've bought things on Chaos Cards more than once. In fact, when I was completing my when I was completing my Surging Spark set, I actually bought a whole bunch of singles off of Chaos Cards. They stock singles, all sorts of things. And I was actually able to get a lot of the set off of Surging Sparks. Obviously, this is closer to the release date, and as things drift on, it becomes less available. They do pre-orders. They show stuff in advance, so you know when you get it. You can sign up for notifications for when things are gonna be available for pre-order, so you don't miss out. Yeah, they do things really well, and that's another, like, this is probably one of my main places that I would recommend that you guys check out. They sell loads of different packs. They have ETBs available. They have booster boxes available. They have packs available. They have all sorts of things, blister packs, collection boxes, loads of different stuff. Very, very similar to Magic Madhouse. Maybe not quite as much as Magic Madhouse, but I would say that Chaos Cards are better prices, definitely. They seem to really try and stick to retail price, which is really good, apart from those really desirable sets where you can't get them like cheap. Like Prismatic Evolution, they did have on there for like £8.50 a pack, I think, or something. But generally, they are actually seem to do their best to keep things closer to stuff that basically we can afford. After that, I went to a website that I'd never been to before, but I was recommended. In fact, both of these next two sites I'm going to mention are, first one was Titan Cards. They did sell a lot of singles. I can't say I was too impressed with Titan Cards. Yeah, Titan Cards seem to be one of those ones that's very similar, but not quite as good as Chaos Cards or Magic Madhouse. Now, the reason I say it is because they didn't seem to have as much stock. A lot of stuff is out of stock, but you can see they're trying. Their website is laid out quite well. You can kind of sift through things. They do sell graded cards, singles, and lots of other stuff like that. So if you're looking to collect certain things or looking for individual things, then this can be one of those that you look at again. When you're looking for singles or graded cards, it is very difficult to look online because you tend to head towards eBay or other places, and again, it's like a little bit of a grey area, and I'm never quite sure if I should be buying stuff or if it's going to be legit or if it's going to be like fake cards and stuff. Like, buying singles is, yeah, but when you know you've got like a legitimate store like this one, then you can go in with a bit more confidence. And, you know, obviously if you're buying all from the same store on eBay, you're probably searching for singles here, there and everywhere. If you want to buy 4 or 5 singles, they're going to come from different people, and then you're going to have to buy shipping. You have to pay for shipping on all these different orders, whereas if you're buying them all from the same store, then they're probably going to put them all together, and you're not going to pay as much in shipping and things like that. So that's a good one. This next one I want to buy cards from. I went onto a website called I was again recommended, called Total Cards. Total Cards, I was so impressed with this website. I would say this is hands down like the best online store that I've seen. Now, I haven't bought anything on there yet. I do really want to test them out, so I am going to try and buy some products. They seem to have absolutely everything. More products, more variability of different things than I have seen from any other store. half booster pack, half booster boxes, booster bundles, everything, even of Destined Rivals blister packs, all sorts of. Yeah, I haven't seen another online store like them. They seem to be really, really, really good. They have a lot of products in stock. They seem to very clearly communicate what's coming into stock, when it's coming into stock. You can do pre-orders, you can do all sorts of stuff. They seem to really have it together. And I'm actually quite excited to try them out if I can get something on there. But it looks really good. They also seem to stock a lot more, like, even if you want Japanese stuff, they just seem really with it. I was really impressed with their store. I actually spent quite a lot of time on there looking through all the stuff they had. Again, you can get singles and graded cards on there as well. They must have a lot of people running their website because it seems to be really, really, really clean and well done. Yeah, so I would 100% Total Cards. I can't give this recommendation as someone who has used the website, but from looking on there and knowing that they're legitimate, guys, you can trust them, it is a good site. I am looking forward to trying them out, and it might well become my favorite. Right, I know there's been a hell of a lot of information. There is one more online store I want to talk about, but before we get there, I just want to ask you all if you could leave a like, if you could comment, if you could subscribe, if you've enjoyed this video. Again, if you haven't checked out the store tour where I show all the places to buy cards in store, like on the high street, then please do check that out. That video did really well, and again, I'm very grateful for everyone that subscribed from that. Yeah, drop me a comment. What's your favorite online store? Please let me know if there's anything I've missed. And yeah, let's get on to this last store. So the last one I'm going to talk about is eBay. And the reason I sort of singled this out last is because eBay is, again, a place where a lot of different people sell, and it can be very hit and miss. I'm always very wary that there's going to be a lot of scalpers trying to resell their products on a site like Amazon, and I'm always very conscious of the fact that people are possibly scamming or selling fake products on a site like eBay. Actually, just going back quickly, because I've just remembered something that I didn't say. I was told something very interesting. I think, in fact, someone wrote it in one of the comments of the videos about Argos, and I guess it applies for anywhere really. People will try anything to get cards and just scam and make some money. Someone mentioned that they bought some tins off of Argos, and when they got the tins were empty. And what we think had happened, or I assume had happened, what they said had happened, is people were sliding because if you've ever bought a tin, you know it comes in like a plastic cellophane around the outside. What people were doing was buying the tins, sliding the plastic off of them, taking the packs out of the tins, sliding the thing on, and then returning it. And then because it's still in it, because you can do that, they're basically just getting away, and it's ridiculous. What is wrong with a lot of the community? Seriously, guys, it frustrates me so much because it's a hobby that I enjoy so much, and there's just so many people there that are just fed up with. Like, why can we not just enjoy something and just... There's always got to be people there to spoil it. But we're not going to get negative. That's not what this channel is about. We're going to stay positive. This is going to be a fun, positive vibe community. Yeah, so back to eBay anyway. I've had a lot of success on eBay, actually. Again, when I was completing my Surgeon Spark set, I bought a lot of the higher end, or a lot of the illustration rares and stuff that I couldn't get. I bought them on eBay, and I was very happy. eBay, you can track. You seem to get a better price, and you can compare. I spent a long time on there looking through what cards I needed and stuff and comparing them, and I feel like there's a lot less of chance of you getting scammed. Even if you're at like these card shows and stuff, I feel like it's very hard on the spot to go through and check all the prices and make sure you're getting the best price. But on eBay, you have the time where you can just look through everything, and then when you're happy and you find one, you just bid on it. I didn't get any fake cards or anything like that. It seemed to all be quite legit. There is a lot of stuff on there where it's like buy 50 cards and you're going to get some hollows and whatever, and it's all a bit random, and it's just like buy in bulk and stuff, which actually in a way I think is also good. If you've got kids, or if you're just getting into it and you just want like a big stack of cards, or you might want to make a couple of decks, or just have the freedom to do whatever, or just experience having a lot of variety in cards because you haven't got anything, almost buying some bulk or of a few different sets can be quite nice, just to feel like you have something and just have some variety and try and, you know, build something and something you can play with, right? Or if you've got kids, like a lot of the time kids like quantity over quality. And if you just give them a load of cards, they're probably going to be quite happy. Again, make sure they're legit. But yeah, there's a few good things, but eBay is really good for buying out all the singles. I really struggled to get the reverse holos of a lot of cards that I needed, but eBay really helped me out there. There's people that just sell like reverse holos. I guess they're like rip and ship, they call them, companies, where basically people just sit there and open all the packs and then list all the individual cards out. Be careful on eBay. It can be really good, but just be careful. As far as I know, you can get refunds off of eBay if people aren't legit, but just stick to those that are well rated and well trusted, and you should be okay. And that's going to do it. That's where to find Pokemon cards online in the UK. I hope that was really helpful to all you guys. If I missed anything, if I missed any stores that you guys really like rate and you're 100% like, Ryan, you should be using this, please leave it in the comments. And not only will it help me, it will help anyone else that is watching this video that is looking for those places to buy Pokemon cards online. It is going to be harder than buying it on the high street just because you're fighting against bots. That's unfortunately the nature of the hobby right now, but we have to deal with it. I wish you all the best of luck getting the product that you're looking for, and I hope you have an amazing day. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all soon. See you later.